Hi everyone, welcome to Zach's Game Room. I'm working on a setting for the index card role-playing game, and I wanted to share that setting with you. And in addition to that, I wanted to share with you my games and how I set them up, both with an actual play and my room designs. So, just so we have a common starting point, this setting is about the Einherjar, who are the chosen warriors to stand beside Odin during Ragnarok. And in this setting, Ragnarok is now. The Devourers and the Destroyers are coming, and Odin has dispatched his warriors and has chosen new warriors to go out and face them and do their best to keep the end of the world from occurring. Now, this game not only takes place during the Ragnarok, but it takes place in the future. It's a science fiction setting. And the Einherjar are somewhat immortal. When they die, they go to Valhalla, but they are capable of returning to Midgard and coming back to life, which is, I think, an interesting dynamic for a game that is high action. So, the first game night, the setup for it was the group got a call from a contact they have, it's like a trusted source, telling them that a mining corporation had uncovered some previously unknown mineral that was set to revolutionize weapons technology for all of mankind. Shortly after this broadcast happened, all of the miners there started becoming mutated, and their eyes started becoming bulging, huge discs, and their foreheads started becoming misshapen, and then they started breaking things, and then they stopped broadcasting. When they stopped broadcasting, the other corporations started to swoop in, hiring mercenaries to go to the site, see what happened, and the Destroyers and the Devourers started coming. Now, the Devourers are an alien race beyond the boundaries of Midgard. They are like the personification of the serpent Jormungandr, who, in the Tale of Ragnarok, is the giant serpent that will devour the world. Their technology does not work in Midgard. It slowly starts to break down the longer they're there. So in the story, in the setup for this, one of their ships was seen crossing the boundary to Midgard and heading to this planet, which is a big deal, because it's a one-way trip for them, right? Their ship's going to break down. So whatever is here is worth a suicide run for these people. So as you can see, I'm setting up here and I'm getting my first board ready and looking at my DM journal on the top right. It's going to be some kind of cliff, some woods, some kind of road coming in. And I'm going to go for a couple of themes here. I want it to be of a ransacked look with some corpses around, some type of smoking vehicle to indicate that people were here before and that something had gone awry to foreshadow events to come. I need a threat, which in my journal I've listed as a sawtooth or some type of dog or some beast. And I just have a note there saying a howl spawn, which is going to be the timer. It's going to be able to howl and summon more. I had some notes to make use of some kind of breached containment, and also some notes for us to have an AA gun. Now, my thought behind the AA gun, which is an anti-aircraft gun, was that I didn't want this to become a fight with a ship. I didn't want them to have their spaceship come down. I didn't want them to have their shuttle do flybys and shoot at things. No, I wanted it to be on foot with people. I'm going to pause in my description to tell you what I'm setting up on the map right there. That box is going to be the dynamic lighting boundary. And the token is out there so that I can see what the players will see. If in Roll20, if you press Control L, it shows you the view from the perspective of the token you have selected. And I just wanted to have something a little bit cleaner around the edges for my players, so that instead of seeing those kind of ragged, unfinished sides, they had a nice clear box with a pretty picture on the inside of it. So that's what it's getting set up there. So back to my details here. That AA gun is to separate them from their ship. So the first decision they're going to have to make in the night when they come down here is where do they land? They're going to break atmosphere, they're going to get close to the target, and then that gun is going to start shooting at them, and if they don't immediately decide how they want to come down and land, they're going to start taking damage, and they're going to start getting hurt. So they have a couple choices. They can land in the mountains, they can land in the woods, kind of around it, or they can land down this road, which is going to lead to like some kind of pond or clearing they can come down on. So now that the map is all set up, I'll put some tokens out. And see, there's my sawtooth to the lower leftish of that building. There is the pack of dogs, which I'm going to have for his howl spawn, which I have hidden from the players. I have my wrecked vehicle, and you can't quite see it from here, but there's tiny little skeleton corpses all around it. So depending on where they land, depends on, or rather affects, when they'll get spotted by this beastie. If they come down from the mountain, it's entirely possible they can get in the building without being seen. If they come up from the south through the woods, they're going to get spotted right away. If they're going to come from the northeast through the woods, it'll take a little bit longer. And they'll encounter the gun, and they'll encounter that shed before they get seen. If they come up the road, it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. They may get seen first, it might spot them, they might spot it. They'll definitely see the wrecked vehicle first. And as soon as they get spotted, if they get spotted, that dog is going to howl for its pack. So I've decided that the howl is going to be my timer. It's going to be a D4 timer from when he goes off. The creature is going to be what I decided to call it a tusk dog. It's going to have +2 to all stats, no bonuses to damage, and it's going to have 2 actions. It's going to be like some mix between like a saber-toothed tiger and a wolf. It's going to have a pounce, so a far-range attack. When it hits, it'll do ultimate damage and pin the target. It's going to have a regular bite, and if it manages to group up with the rest of the pack, it's going to give it some kind of buff. Pack is going to be similar, +2 to all stats. It's going to have 5 hearts, and for every heart it has remaining, it's going to get to take an action. And that action is going to be pretty basic. It's just going to gang up on things and attack, and it can attack as many targets as it wants. It doesn't have to do a single target. It's going to be able to hit basically everybody who is near to it. So that is going to be the initial setup. So there's some treats on the board here too. There's that anti-aircraft gun in its shed. You know, they might be able to get into that and figure out what's going on. There's going to be the remains of the people who got here before them and whatever might be in that wreck of a vehicle. And then I've got some interesting treats for them inside that building. If that building comes away, I can just click on it and delete it when the time comes, and it will reveal the inside. And the inside of it has the first of the mutated miners that they're going to encounter, and that's going to foreshadow the next room as well. So that's my first board for the game. I hope it had some interesting cues, to see how somebody puts together a map. I hope you enjoyed being able to see kind of what goes through my mind prepping a game. And the next video will be my players going through it, so you get to see what they do. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.